It's Chance eating a snack.
Smart.
Man.
What?
Now Chance is going to like you more.
Chance already likes me more.
That's so messed up, dude.
He totally surrendered today to me. He was like, "Oh, Roti, please pat my belly." Chance loves me, man. Doves love me.
Chance is awesome. And before we... Hey, get off the desk, bro.
Chance wants more.
Seriously, he's like trying to take stuff. Hey, Chance.
Chance is like our boss. Like he's like running around. He's like,
there he is.
making sure if these guys are still doing a good job.
No inappropriate jokes, guys. I'm watching you.
He's
okay. We've got our game up. Let's get in game before we get too distracted.
Oh, Chance did a good job. So Axslav versus TLO. The second map will be played on Daybreak, and I'm going to introduce these guys to you as soon as we've seen them. It's still, despite me predicting that X was going to take this series, still pretty surprising to see him take that first game, because it didn't look that good for him for a long time. Also, I was surprised by his opening, like 16 Forge and then Cannon before Nexus.
Yeah.
It was a little bit weird, but he got away with it. And I'm very curious to see how he's going to play on Daybreak. I'm expecting once more a pretty passive style.
I think we'll probably see, yeah, that's kind of how Axslav plays. He likes to sit back, and he likes to get to that point in the game where he's got that ultimate army. It's much like we see Mana and Hasu play.
Yeah, I was about to say, would you call him the North American Hasu-ups?
Yeah, it's not unlike that in the least. The big difference, I would say, in Axslav's play is he'll mix in a really wonky cheese every now and then, and you very seldom see Hasu do that.
Hasu never, man.
Yeah.
Even though maybe like if we ever going to see Hasu cheese, I feel that it's gonna come soon, because Hasu is so mad lately.
What is with that, Dennis? If you're watching our broadcast, why so mad, bro?
Dennis is really mad lately.
So every time he posts on Twitter, he's mad about something. Every time he plays a game, he's like, "Oh, that kid's so bad" when he walks away.
It's weird, because Dennis is like, I've got to know Dennis.
He's like a happy.
I think 7 years ago at my first tournament, pretty much, and he was always this relaxed guy who was like, "Oh, good." And lately, he's so mad, like mad in a funny way, but he's just like, I don't know. It's not the same Dennis.
He might be mad for the same reasons I get mad.
Which is?
Receding hairline.
Oh. Anyway, we see TLO once more. TLO is, of course, our lovely German Zerg, Red Zerg, spawning in the left bottom side of the map, representing Team Liquid, currently living in Sweden.
A lot of people forget that he's German because of how long he's been in Sweden, but he is indeed. Dario Wunsch.
After you hear his last name, you know that he's... like
what is a Swedish last name?
Like Christiansson. Or Johansson.
Okay, yeah.
Hammer. You know how like Todd used to call Satan like wait, how did he call him? Oh yeah, Kim the Hammer Assassin. I thought it was so cool. I had so much fun with it.
Oh man.
Because actually I think it's a really cool nickname, like the Hammer.
The Hammer.
Yeah, Todd is a fun guy. Can't wait to see Todd at our Sunday showdown against Sen. I'm so excited for that match.
I was never a really cool guy, but when I was in middle school, I played basketball, and the coach gave me the nickname Iceberg, and I thought that was the coolest nickname ever. I was like, I'm the Iceberg.
It's pretty cool.
It didn't stick for long, though.
Ben realized he was better at StarCraft.
Well, it just turns out I was really bad at basketball. So after the Iceberg got benched, it stopped being a cool nickname.
16, perfect saturation right now for TLO. Probably going to try to transfer as soon as this hatch is ready, of course, but he doesn't have that many drones yet. X has a small worker lead, but that's kind of standard for this phase of the game. TLO starts working on these rocks, or debris, I should say. He's really having a fun time taking those things out.
Wait, debris? Oh, in the middle of the map.
Yes.
I was like, where's debris? I totally forgot about that. Little path through the center that can be opened up to make for a longer push, or a shorter push. But the ones that he's working on are actually on that ramp, widen it up for a wider choke. And, yeah, not really a whole lot to talk about, except for the fact that TLO is still gasless. That's a little bit interesting.
And X just scouted that as well.
Which probably says he's going to play, there's that third hatch going down, which probably says he's going to play what we've dubbed as Stefano style. There's an interesting discussion popping up. I think I saw it on Team Liquid where people were saying, why do people call this Stefano style? Zergs were maxing out on roaches long time ago. Idra used to take his third base at 4 minutes. Well, yeah, you're right, but the reason people call it Stefano style is because he's the first guy to really win a major tournament with it. You know, he's the guy that's proven that it can be top notch. If you recall, Idra went away from using that play style because he felt like he couldn't kill Protoss in the late game, where Stefano said, "Well, I can," and
he can.
Thus, Stefano style.
Curious to see how X is gonna start this game right now, because in the previous game on the Shadow Temple he went for that 4-gate +1, but it really didn't work out that well at all. It barely did any damage. He took out a few creep tumors, but that was pretty much it. So I kind of wonder what he's gonna do right now. He is getting a probe once more, but I feel this is a fake. I really feel this is a fake probe by Axslav. He wants to give TLO the idea that he goes for something similar, while he actually doesn't at all.
That would be really smooth as he is throwing down a robo up in his main base, which I think adds even further validity to that argument.
Maybe a War Prism all in? No, he's taking both assimilators right now, so I think he's just gonna play maybe a standard style, get a Colossus out, and then secure another base.
Maybe he's gonna try to take a super fast third and hold it with Immortal. That's something we've seen White Guy try to do, and I think that's in fact the direction that he's moving.
I think it's so risky. As we saw, like with Vibe against Mana, if Protoss takes such a quick 3 bases, they are so handicapped. They can't move out at all for such a long time. And A, it's hard to hold if Zerg all-ins, and B, if they don't all-in and drone all-in, basically, you're still behind. Yeah, like a drone all-in, not just drone only.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it makes sense in my books. It's like either you all-in to base,
what
or
does
you're all-in.
#FF mean?
Force follow.
Because it makes sense in your books.
Yes.
Ruddy books, the only books that matter. Get yours at Amazon.com.
Where functionate is a word.
That's right. And Mount Everest is 5,000 miles high.
I never said that. We see a nice surround actually by TLO. He might be able to pick up. No, very nice micro by Axslav.
Gets that Stalker out of there just in the nick of time. But importantly, TLO is going to scout this third base.
Yeah, that is still a pretty massive scout. Might be able to pick up a probe. Nope.
The response is 12 wings, so 18 lings.
Yeah,
he might try to punish this with the Zergling only.
Which is, in my opinion, the better of the two things that could have happened for Axslav.
Yes, I agree.
Even though he's supply blocked right now and he really can't afford that, but well, then maybe he can actually warp in a lot of units when he needs to. Because I really feel what I meant with drone all in is just like all in on economy. Just go a ridiculous amount of drones. Creep spread, because you know Protoss won't move out.
Yep.
I think that X has a better chance winning this game by defending than if TLO would have played a super economic style.
No, TLO still hasn't necessarily committed to it. He made these lings, but he might yet change his mind as he's taking out this debris in the middle of the map. Yeah. But he's taking out the debris in the middle of the map.
And he's making 5 overlords, man.
Which it says he wants that supply for a bunch of roaches. Either that or he's just really upset about that supply block. That's something Stefano does too. Oh, but there it is, 11 roaches. Whenever Stefano hits a supply block, he just spends all the money he has on overlords. Alright, so 11 roaches coming.
I really like this by X. X has a pretty good read right now. He makes a ton of cannons, but he has to worry about his natural too. This is something that Protoss players often forget. And TLO is actually working on this right now already. It's going to make it harder for Axslav to force it up.
I like this move by Axslav too. Putting that pylon at the top, he can add cannons up there, which will give him a little bit extra.
But I actually think that's something he needs to do.
Extra defense.
Army supply is 52 against 23 right now, but if Axslav holds on a little bit longer, he might be okay. He has sentries, and if there's any...
it's all about the force field, it really is.
TLO slowly but steady goes back to droning.
Gateway cannon?
Here I think X is pretty safe. I would have loved to see one more cannon over here, but doesn't matter.
TLO not going to get anything done attacking into that third base. If he's going to go, if he's going to make it happen, it's got to be up here at the top of the natural.
No cancel on that first gateway, so at least some damage done.
Actually, those force fields are perfect. He's going to force TLO to disengagement. That went very, very well for Axslav. He's got plenty of energy for more force fields. He's got a second Immortal out now, and Roach pressure's not going to work. Now TLO says, all right, I've got to take a fourth, but look at the income tab.
Yeah, the same amount of probes as drones. It's perfect. Might end up losing 2 gates. Oh, nice force fields there by Axslav.
Great force fields. There's no burrow or anything like that. Not even the Roach speed. One more force field.
He should be able to get it. No, he doesn't get it.
Still, Axslav's going to be fine with the state of this game. He's at 110 supply to 150, but that's...
The problem is, I don't think Axslav knows how fine he is, unless he played this scenario a lot. Nice force fields once more, but the sentries are all in the front, so he's going to lose a few of them, but look at the amount of gas he has of those quick 3 bases.
Lord,
that's
it. Immortals kill roaches so fast.
I would love to see 1 or 2 cannons here.
TLO does decide to go around and start working on the third base. He's going to kill a gate.
Come on, don't send all sentries. X, leave 1 or 2 behind.
Yeah, that's definitely a mistake. But he's got 3 cannons up now and almost a full wall. So
1 Immortal would be so good.
Yep.
TLO putting on a lot of pressure, but he's just not able to break Axslav. So X really not underreacting with a ton of cannons, and that's exactly what he needed to do. Oh, TLO, I'm not sure. This is 5 cannons. He's going for multi-prong.
Yeah, we'll see. Axslav's gonna have to split up his army perfectly. He's got units in his natural and units in his third base, and It looks like a pretty solid defense. He's got the Immortals down there on the low ground.
Nice force fields. Picks up 5 roaches.
Yes, great job force fitting out those roaches.
Now TLO is going really back to drone and making 14 drones at once. But if we take a look,
late, TLO.
Yeah, if take a look at the unit loss resource tab, 3,600 loss against only 1,500 for Axslav.
Look at the army supply now, Kev. It was double for TLO. Now it's even.
Yep.
And
no, beautiful defense by Axslav. It's really not easy to not be caught off guard. But that's why when you feel that your opponent is putting on a lot of pressure, which I already said before the game, I feel that was the better of the two things that could have happened for Axslav. TLO?
Miss rally there. Yeah, and you know, TLO just he misplayed that situation. We saw, you know, Vibe did the right thing when Mana went for the fast third, and TLO did, I think maybe the wrong one. I can understand wanting to do that kind of aggression, but
it can work.
It
can work if you're really quick on it, and if the Protoss player underreacts. Because often Protoss is even greedy. They're like, okay, I'm going quick 3 base. Maybe he's droning up, so I'll have 2 cannons. I'm fine. Like, no, you really need very, very good building placement. So you need to make it easy for yourself to have good force fields, and you need a lot of cannons. And Axslav did everything of that. And of course, the way that TLO decided to play kind of played in Axslav's hands. But I must say, an A for execution for Axslav.
Also, still good on TLO. He's never stopped teching. Oh my God, those force fields, beautiful force fields there by Axslav. Traps a lot of roaches, and TLO's supply dipping heavily all the way down below 140.
Units lost. It just keeps climbing for TLO. TLO's gonna try to do something. Yes, actually gets a big run by. That's pretty freaking awesome.
This could be the defining moment in this game. There are Colossi out. Well, actually, Axslav works in a bunch of Zealots up in his main. And, you know, Zerglings are well, Axslav, you gotta micro, man. Send those Zealots back. And if he finally does, Ling's on hold position, going to kill a handful of probes, but it's not going to be enough. Meanwhile, Axslav on the warpath, pushing through the center of the map.
Yep, this is a pretty scary army for TLO to deal with certainly right now, because he wants to save time for that Great Aspire. But with 18 roaches, so many sentries. Take a look at army supply right now, 92 for Axslav, 83 for TLO. TLO still has a lot of stuff, and he's going to force a cancel on this Nexus. I'm loving how active TLO is. No cancel by Axslav.
Yeah, he does have a reputation as being a fairly low APM player, so maybe the multitasking stressed him a little bit here, as he is just going to continue to push. TLO with another run by, this time up into the natural, but the Zealots are there.
Yeah, there is a Colossus.
Yeah, so that's probably not going to go too well.
What the hell? This was...
Axslav, meanwhile, closing in on that 4th base. TLO trying to get some units out, but I don't know, man.
It's going to be really, really tough for TLO. Roach taking some damage. Spycrawler at work. It just doesn't really matter. It's Spore Crawler as well. Maybe picks up the Observer. If anything, that helps at least a little bit. And yes, already another Observer. How many?
All TLO can make are Roaches, Kev, and that's just not... Roaches aren't going to work against the army that Axslav's got. The 4th base is going to fall. TLO continuing to counterattack. Maybe if he could force some kind of a raise with this sort of a Roach counter, that might be one way back into the game.
The economy is just a little bit too sick for Axslav. He has 83 probes. He can really afford to lose probes. And as you mentioned, this is a very, very good anti-Roach army. Certainly an anti-Roach army without tunneling claws. And no barrow either, of course. Maybe the Broodlords, but TLO just doesn't have the economy right now to support in a really, really scary Broodlord army.
Axslav going to bear down on this 3rd base. TLO going to try one final great engagement. He's got units on all sides. Maybe with an awesome surround, he could do something. Roach is coming from behind, but Axslav with great force fields takes out the 3rd base. TLO just can't get an engagement surrounding everything. He's going to kill a few sentries here. Roach is still pushing forward, but the Immortals just too much to handle. Great play by Axslav. We'll try and take a second look at this one after this game. Awesome attempt at a final engagement by TLO, but it's not going to happen. GG. And Axslav takes it 2-0. Good call on that one, Kev. He was in fact the victor, so beautiful play. Wow.
Cool day, man.
Yeah,
cool day.
That pretty much buttons up our day.
But we're not there yet. We still got a couple of awesome things ahead, so please don't tune out just yet, guys, because we gotta go. That's
right. I think we're gonna kick it to a very short commercial, and then we're gonna have our closing remarks.
Stay tuned. Stay tuned.
We're gonna try our new replay functionality when we get back. So stay tuned for that. It's gonna be pretty sweet.
And exciting.
So don't go anywhere. We'll be back. Blah.